Today we begin the 7th letter. This letter begins with a quote from the daily prayers. The daily prayers, before we begin Hoidu, we say, Ashreinu matov chalkenu manoyim goyra leinu. Fortunate are we. We're fortunate. What are we fortunate for in this statement? How good is our portion? How pleasant is our lot? Now this is in reference to God. That God is our portion and He is our lot. That's the reference point over here. We have this in other places, this concept, portion and lot. Now, a portion means to have a portion of something. A lot is different. It's like a lottery. You kind of won something. So, of course, we need to understand the distinction between the two. What does it mean to have a portion of God? What does it mean to have something that's a lottery? That's sort of a gift, in a sense, like a lottery is, a winning in such a manner. I know it's chosen by lot rather than by portion, apportioned. So this idea of having a portion we're going to first deal with, and later on the concept of lottery, not in today's class at least. And we're only going to begin. We're only going to begin the idea. So to understand this, the Alter Rebbe quotes from the Talmud, a saying of the sages that there are those who do not have a portion of God, no part of God, of Israel. Now, without getting into that statement, what that means, because that's not the point right now, at least. The Alter Rebbe asks, how do you apportion God? God's one and indivisible. You don't have a portion. How could you have a portion or not have a portion? God is indivisible. He's one holistic, uncompounded, simple unity of oneness. So what does that mean? So the Alter Rebbe says, we'll understand that by understanding a phrase in the book of Genesis of Jacob, of Yaakov Avinu. Jacob, when he finished his reunion with his brother Esav and he came to Shechem, he brought there an offering. And in the offering, it says there, Vayikra Loi Kel Elokei Yisrael. And he, Jacob, called to him, to God. How do you refer to him? Kel, the God of Israel. Elokei Yisrael, the God of Israel. So, here the God of Israel is used, meaning because Jacob has two names. Jacob, Yaakov, and Israel. The reference point till now was Yaakov, and now the reference is the God of Israel, Israel. Why the change? First of all, and secondly, this concept of Kel, Elokei Yisrael, which means Kel is the name of God. That name of God is now the God of Israel. It's a new epitaph. It's a new way to refer to God. What is that reference? What does that mean? So now we're going to go into an understanding in 3 dimensions God's presence in this world. Okay? So when we refer to God, one of the names that we refer to God is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He. Holy means apart, separate, beyond. Right? Holy One, blessed is the word Baruch. Baruch means that apartness is drawn and is to be found, drawn into this world. What does that mean exactly? It means that, as the phrase says in Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, Haloi, do I not fill the heavens and the earth? And what is that in reference to? Eye of God. What is the eye of God? It means the very essence of God. He, himself, and others, not the radiance of God, but God himself. So, in what way does God fill the world? What does that mean? That God fills the world. The very essence of God. Well, it's in a way that he's a part. What does it mean, a part? Meaning he's not, what's the right word? He's not grasped by the world. He's not contained by the world. What is something that is contained by something? Our soul. Our soul is in our body, and it's contained by the body. What does it mean, contained by the body? It doesn't mean it's just in the container, my soul in the body, but it means it's affected by the body. It's affected by the body. So when the body feels cold, the soul also senses, not physical coldness, but the coldness. When the body does something, that's not healthy, it also affects the soul because it's contained by it. But the I, the essence of God himself, although he is drawn into this world, found here, but not contained by being here, meaning he's not affected by it. So that being so, we cannot derive our life force directly from the essence of God because we couldn't contain it. We couldn't maintain it. It'd be way too much. So what do we need? A radiation, a glimmer, a light. And not even from him, from his essence, but from his name. So we have the essence, then we have the name of God, right? Now, he and his name are one. Meaning, just as he is beyond and cannot be contained, likewise his name is also a part. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be he, a name of God. It's a name. That name is one with God, and therefore a part. Part meaning, even though he's found here, but he's not grasped by here, not contained by being here, not being affected. So then, how is it that there's something of me that's coming from that which is apart and beyond? Is because from his name, which again, his name is one with God, with the essence of God. God is ultimately beyond the name. That name of God, has a glimmer, a ray, a shine, a light. That light comes about by an immense and numerous contractions on the name of God. And those intense, numerous contractions, down like chain, like a progression that reduces, and that ray of light, sometimes we call it the glory of God. Glory is just a reflection. It's the, it's not the thing itself, but it's its glory. So that ray of light, so reduced, contracted, that could be vested in creation to be within the created thing in a manner that it is completely bound up and with it. That's the key word over here. Vested. Not just found. Is the essence of God here? Yes. Is the name of God also here? Yes. But it's a part. A part being that it's not contained by being here. Which is a very hard concept. We don't have an experience what that means. Because even our soul, which is an abstract spiritual thing, It is contained by being here in this world and in my body. So, what does it mean that it's not contained? So it's beyond, but yet it's here. So it's not affecting us in a direct manner, because if it did, I wouldn't be able to contain. I wouldn't be. So there has to be this great contraction on, not the essence, but the name of God, in such a manner that now that light, that ray of vitality that comes from him could be vested, just like the soul is vested in my body. That ray of light can be vested within creation and allow beings to be created beings. And of course, the lesser the contraction, the more lofty those beings are. So souls and angels and spiritual worlds are not as, the light isn't as contracted, so the created being is less coarse, less physical. This physical world, the light is even more contracted, vested in, and therefore hence what we have is something that the light of God is even reduced and less that we can be aware of naturally. That's today's class. Where we're going with this is we can see, or hopefully we can start seeing, that there's a difference when we speak about the essence of God, or even his name that's a part. That's not divisible. But there is something that can be divided. And that is the way that light of God comes into this world to create things. What that means exactly, and how that, we still have ways to go to understand this concept. But tomorrow is another day. Right? So, do we have any questions here? Any comments? Let me see if I... So Ellis says he's happy with his portion in Baltimore. That's good, because we're going to learn about what we need to understand about that portion and how to deal with that portion. I'm glad you're happy. Simcha from Tampa. Boker Tov. Denise from New York. Boker Tov. Susan. Tarek is asking, some have the opinion that God is out of time and place. That blessed be he is not here in our universe, and everything is written in destiny. Thus, the change is impossible from evil to righteousness. Oh, that's definitely not a Jewish idea. Definitely, it flies against everything that we believe in Judaism of freedom of choice, that we can choose our path. We can choose if we want to be righteous, want to be good, and do the right thing, or not. That is totally in our hands. Good morning, Batya from Montreal. Susan from Scranton. Maisha, oh, good to see you, Maisha, that you're with us. Thanks for joining. Shimon, shalom from Tulsa. Clem in Brisbane. Good evening, probably. Ella for good morning. David from our morning minion. Wonderful. Estella Boker Tov. Cecilia and Sarah Malka, thank you for joining. Naomi Boker Tov, Mark from Santa Rosa Boker Tov, Andrea from Mississippi, Janet, our portion is just as good as how we want it to be. God knows how big or small our portion need to be. Very good. And we're going to have more on that, about our portion. Of course, that's what the phrase says, how good it is, how fortunate we are. So absolutely. But what we're going to learn is an understanding of that concept, rather than just a mere awareness, but a deep understanding of what that means. But yes, thank you for that, Janet. Annie from Costa Rica, Shalom. Pablo from Florida, Boker Tov. Irene, blessings to you. Rona, thank you. Imar, thank you. Fariba. Andrew from New Jersey, welcome aboard. Joanne from Sylvania, Ohio. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you for those comments and questions. Again, share your portion with others. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Montreal, Canada. Privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day. A reminder for private message me so we can put you on a list of all the things that are happening. Be well. Wonderful day.